Peep the concrete chronicles, my secret origins honest. Every hustle's first appearance, putting paper on the harness. Got a super villain plot twist for the crooked politicians. Me and my crew are heroes on a whole different mission. They see the flashy jewels, that's just a secret identity. My real superpower is surviving this vicinity. Doing the uptown lowdown, know what I mean? Doing the
Welcome to Secret Identities Podcast with your host, the tenacious T-Dubb, and I am your savvy Savage Jody. We are here to bring you news, reviews, discussion, maybe a few laughs about everything in the comics, TV, movie, and media landscape. How you doing today, T-Dubb?
Hulk smashing. That's how I feel. Hulk smashing. Got my Sal Buscema Hulk shirt on. I had to look that up because I got it confused with Herb Trimp. And our buddy, Mr. Hale out there would probably smack me upside my bald head for getting that wrong. Sal Buscema was a pretty incredible artist, influenced a lot of people. Your friend Greg Capullo was a big fan. Old Sal.
He's not a big fan of me, though.
Capullo, no. Every time he looks at you for the now on. Matter of fact, didn't that happen in Baltimore? Yeah,
that did happen in Baltimore. Yeah, and
I wonder if he'll be in Baltimore because
I've seen him once or twice since then. Yeah, that was a funny year. So, I might as well tell the story since we're alluding to it.
Yeah.
As we talked before, I worked in comics, and one of my best friends for a handful of years, not as long as Telly, but for just. I've known him for probably about 28, maybe 30 years, where Telly's got like 5-6 years on him. He worked in comics as well, which is part of the reason why we kind of connected when we met. Well, he decided to come to a comic convention with us, and we just kind of met there, and we're wandering around. He's been disconnected from the industry for a long time, right? Like, he hadn't worked in a comic shop since Capullo was doing like X-Men work, or he was doing Spawn, right? So like it'd been a long time, and I'm letting the cat out of the bag here. I don't really like Todd McFarlane very much. I'm not a fan of Todd McFarlane for a lot of reasons. I personally think that he's got some really brain dead takes on a lot of things. I think he did amazing things for the toy industry, but I don't think he's like a rock star as far as his opinion on things in the comics industry and so forth. And like I think his art kind of drooped a little bit too. So you couldn't tell because he had people ghosting him. But I'm standing here, Telly's very excited to meet this guy he likes so much, and I'm standing like maybe 11, 12 feet away, and I'm talking to my friend Adam about how at one point McFarlane went back to Spawn years after both and I had separated from the industry, and it wasn't as good as it was before, but I'm being very hyperbolic. And I basically said, yeah, that work on Spawn was trash. And I'm with an earshot of Greg Capullo, which did a lot of work on Spawn. And he looks up at me like he's gonna kill me. And we have a picture of Telly leaning over to shake his hand. And Greg Capullo is giving me the
eye. Yeah. With his mouth wide open. It was
he's just like, yeah, he looked like he's going to rip my head off. Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Yeah.
But I have a tendency to
get that picture.
I have a tendency to get in fisticuffs with people at conventions, too. I'm always getting in arguments, you know. So you got the Capullo story. Someday I'll tell you the Valiant guy story.
Oh. Yeah, you can't take Jody anywhere towards conventions, only in the back rooms. He doesn't have any bad stories about Jim Lee, so I don't remember Jim Lee trying to...
The only thing I remember about that Jim Lee... the only bad thing I remember about that Jim Lee is how I looked in the picture we took with him. I want that to stay under wraps. I looked like I was 9 months pregnant in that picture. Like, who takes a picture from an up angle? Like, what?
That person must have been shorter than all of us.
I mean, why did they choose to take that picture? Maybe it was because Jim Lee's so short. Maybe he requested that for Like, but it looks weird, man. It's just because
he took it from a worm's eye view.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like in the comics.
It's pretty much what it is, man. I look terrible in that picture. I'm gonna get AI to fix that picture, and then I'll be happy.
Yeah,
I'll let that one go as soon as AI puts some stank on it.
Yeah, that was a classic one. Classic one. Many times that we've done that, but yeah, more convention stories to come. So yeah, I want to welcome everybody back. We were off a week last week. Decided to take a break in between episodes. Had some things that we had to catch up on outside of the podcast, but it gave us some time to reflect on the previous episodes, what we got coming forward, and all the time, Jody and our 35 plus year friendship, this is before we had the privilege to be able to text and instant message each other and video call, video chat each other. We used to have back in the day, we actually used to email each other a lot, and before texting came out, or we just make some phone calls and we talk for 2 or 3 hours at a time, sometimes in the middle of the night when we're up writing or drawing. We nowadays in 2026, some 35 years later, we're sharing ideas and sending messages and stuff we see on our social media feeds all day long and giving little comments. Hey, we'll talk about this on the show. Oh, we're not talking about this on the show. So we're doing that every second of every day or when we can, when we're not adulting. And it's a lot of fun because there's some stuff that we choose to embellish on, and some things that we leave out for various reasons, just because either it'll have us going off in a tangent and probably going back and forth and arguing, always friendly arguments on something that we truly didn't set out to do.
Except for the Duke thing.
But yeah, the Duke and Flint thing,
and the Supergirl
Optimus Prime and Star, Supergirl thing, and the Avengers Doomsday thing.
I mean, no.
And yeah, and the He-Man stuff, and the Spawn stuff, the Todd McFarlane stuff, the Todd McFarlane versus Rob Liefeld stuff that we came across this week. That was hilarious too. That was from San Diego Comic-Con, by the way. They recorded that. Excuse me.
I would be walking around San Diego Comic-Con with the cattle prod,
looking for them. They were hiding behind a curtain somewhere. I mean, just like, stop this conversation.
Seeing conversations like that, I think I told you this last week, makes me want to fist bump their face.
What it was for you guys that didn't see the clip, it's a one-off conversation where the creator of Spawn, Todd McFarlane, and the creator of Youngblood, X-Force, Deadpool, Rob Liefeld, they're colleagues like Jody and I. They've been friends just as many years. Artists and artists, sometimes one pencils, one inks, whatever the case may be. They are co-owners of Image Comics now, but they had a fun little session where they would play the word association with characters. And the subject of the video was who could defeat Spawn, and they would name a bunch of heroes or villains that would get in fights with them. So they're rattling off names, and of course, every time Todd McFarlane he would either add an unknown attribute to his character or say something that we didn't know on why the other character didn't stand a chance. And there was some outlandish things.
I mean, it was you should have heard this. No chance. Oh, Superman, no chance. Now, Superman,
Surfer,
that's
no
the technical.
chance.
Yeah, Silver Surfer, no chance. Like, a cosmic being doesn't have the ability to beat your trash can superhero. Give me a break, idiot.
First of all,
I mean,
as much of a fan I am of Todd McFarlane and Spawn, I don't agree on 100% of everything he says. But there's no way that Spawn would stand a chance against somebody like Silver Surfer on that type of level, because of the fact that Spawn has a power meter where, as of late, he's on his 376 issue. That power level, for whatever the meaning of it is, and I know it's had different definitions over the years. That thing's almost on E after 376 issues. So, if you're taking
I thought they had a loophole on that where he can pull his powers from the costume so it doesn't use his power meter. Hell, Al Simmons hasn't even been the main Spawn the entire time. So how the hell's that work with the power meter? Look, Todd McFarlane is a great artist. He ripped off the art of all the characters that he worked on. He jammed them into one character, and he wrote a stupid backstory for it. Spawn is a dumb backstory. Like, it's just like, and he's not a good writer. The only good writers that ever been on Spawn were for all those issues back in the 90s. And look, great art vehicles, sure, but you can't polish a turd but so much, man. Like, there's a weird fat clown guy and a zombie superhero in a Spiderman suit with a Doctor Strange cape that turns into a white guy when he wants to be a human. Like, what the hell is this story about? Like, I'm sorry, And I'm not saying that all the Spawns were terrible, but all the Spawns are just derivative kind of stuff too, right? It's like it tries so hard to be edgy, it didn't want to be good. It's like even when the Curse of the Spawn book came out, it's like, oh, Spawn versus the Anti-Pope, good, but there's no substance to the story, man.
Yeah, I mean, they fleshed it out. It's had its up and downs over the years. I mean, I truly wouldn't know what to. I mean, you're not going to be able to.
Or when you're in the basement and you have an up, that still puts you on ground floor, man.
I thought the origin, back in the day for the time that we were in, it was the most interesting thing on the show because it hadn't been done fully to an extent. But then over the years, you're adding and subtracting and multiplying and dividing so many things in the lore of it. And you really can't say that it's only been a handful of writers. They had those single issue one-off guest star writers, but none of that really.
Those are the best writers that ever touched that book, though, man. Those are the best writers that ever touched that book.
I mean, you had only a handful of writers to actually write the book afterwards. I mean, Todd McFarlane still oversaw everything that went towards it. Nothing that those writers contributed really stuck with the origin or the overall tale of the character.
We're talking about the same guy that says the best writer in the world can't sell a comic, but the worst artist can. So his whole premise is flawed. He thinks that writing means absolutely nothing and art means everything. And I understand you're an artist and art is important to you, but you love art on established characters that were established by writers 50 years ago. Those characters wouldn't exist if it wasn't for writers that were worth anything. So he's just such a brain dead. He could he's an artist. So obviously artists are the things that make the world go round. Hey, Gen 1 Image, how'd that work out for you? The guys that were there doing both jobs, doing both jobs are the ones that survived. The most praised thing to come out of Wildstorm was Stormwatch and the Authority because of Warren Ellis. Now, I'm not crapping on Jim Lee, but Wildcats was convoluted as hell, man. Even in hindsight, I can't make a lot of sense on what was going on in Wildcat. Great looking books, cool looking characters, but I kind of feel like if he had a better writer, that book might have been more substantial. There's a little short guy who's a bum, but he's not a bum. He's an alien, but why does he not look like the other aliens? And there's another alien from the future. What's going on in that book? It's the kind of thing that you can get away with if you're introducing elements like that in 10 years. But in 3 issues, you're like, what? This is incomprehensible, man. So
I mean, but most of it is I mean, for what they had at the years that they had when it was coming out in the 90s, I mean, it was It was outselling most of the stuff that was out. So I mean, the same old ideas, the Spider clones.
But just because it's like sold, that. I mean, you're talking about the age of speculation. You're talking, of course, yeah. I mean, look, I'm not arguing that the art wasn't good, but in the age of speculation, I mean, first off, it wasn't for Wizard Comics. I don't feel like Image would have done as good as it did. It would have done well, but it wouldn't have done as good as it did. Wizard Comics painted Image as if it was a gold mine. Like every book that you bought from Image was going to put your kids through college and you're going to get a doctorate if you have a whole run. So, like, I think it's an unfair comparison to say, well, it must have been great because it sold well, because Death of Superman sold very well, and now it's in 50-cent bins. You know, so it's and so is that Image stuff. So if it was really great, it would have stood the test of time. Some of that stuff did stand the test of time. Some of that stuff is still great, but most of it is not. I mean, the 90s there was a lot of money tied up in the comic book industry. There's a lot of shenanigans by comic book companies and creators and all that other stuff. It's kind of what broke the back and gave us the more austere last 2 decades. But I don't know. I don't see a lot of greatness come out of early Image, because if there was greatness, it would have lasted. So, I mean, Eric Larson. Now, I'm not saying Jim Lee isn't awesome at art, but like, voting dollar wins in capitalism, man. If it was really that good, people would have bought it and it would have stayed in business. He wouldn't be working at Image. He wouldn't have sold Wildstorm. So, the mentality that Todd McFarlane has is that, like, an artist can just take a crap in a book with no story and everybody's going to buy it up because it's awesome. I think it's a stupid notion. And look who's not a rock star selling in the top 100 books. The guy who has the belief that you don't need a writer to make a comic book good. You know?
Yeah, I mean, he's gotten by on what he's done, but I mean, like I said, you need, it's the best of both worlds. You need writers and you need artists in order to drive.
It's a dance, absolutely. Art is important. Yeah. I mean, look, you open a comic book and you see bad art, you're gonna be like, ugh, put this back. But there's a lot of people in the industry now that dislike what we consider good. What we consider good art in a comic book, they're like, oh, this is house comic book stuff. I want something different. They want something more avant-garde, art-focused, more expressive than comics. The kind of stuff that Neil Gaiman used to select for his story arcs. Not all of which I liked, by the way. Just because it was a Neil Gaiman book doesn't mean I would have chosen it. But I did learn from him that art influences the story. So it can't always be Todd McFarlane. It can't always be Rob Liefeld. Sometimes, you know, if I'm doing a detective noir book, Brett Booth is not the guy for the job, right? So, you know, you'd have to get somebody else for that. Like Mark Mignola would be great for that story. So, like, I think you got different types of art, not necessarily good art, bad art. But even that can't make a book all by itself. It has to be all the things. So, and I think all the people that have all the things, I think, get by. And I think that's why you got success from Robert Kirkman. You got success from Eric Larson. And I think that people that are buying Todd McFarlane and Rob Liefeld books because they love the art and they're going into milers, but those are going to be his only fans because he doesn't strive to do better than he does, right? So eventually all his fans are going to die or they're going to give up comics and he's going to be broke as hell because he's not trying to do better.
No, he's getting by based on stuff that he's done over the years. I mean, he's a great marketer. He's a great advertiser.
I think Todd McFarlane changed the face of the toy industry. So, I can't take that away from him. Toys would be in the same place as they were when we were younger. If it wasn't for Todd McFarlane, he increased the quality of toys. He also increased the average price of the toy. So, like, an action figure that costs $30 is like, what? You know?
Yeah, I've seen. This is his last year for the license for the DC Multiverse thing, and I was reading an interesting stat. It doesn't talk about total sales, which I know that stuff sold because I've worked in stores that sold it. I'm friends with people that own those stores that sell those figures. And when he started those figures, I think it was 6 years ago. They were skyrocketing. Those DC Multiverse figures that he did from the very first figure until now, I think there's almost someone kept stats that it's almost they may be over 1,000 pieces or 1,000 figures that he did for that set. That contract ends at the end of this year, and then I think it's Mattel is taking it back over. Mattel hasn't wasted any time. They've already started putting those figures in stores. And as a collector, based on the detail and the articulation and the artistry on those figures that McFarlane did for DC Multiverse, these figures look like they went back to the 80s on. Yeah.
Mattel's going to make a economic decision about toys instead of making a love for the industry decision. But yeah, I think that's also DC's fault because DC has to approve all that.
Oh yeah, I know, and it's bad when you see the difference in the figures. You're like, they went backwards.
My understanding is that he didn't lose the contract; he just lost the exclusive contract. So maybe the pivot.
Well, he did, but he decided not to bid on the license. The license was taken and put up again, and he got outbid. He chose not to bid because I think what it was is that he had so much red tape that he had to go through to get these figures approved. That's why the waves are so out of sync. You mean you get a Batman, a Nightwing, or a Robin, and you're trying to go somewhere with that wave and have all those figures, and then you get a Zatanna figure in that wave. You're like, what is this? Because they took so long to approve the figure, they had to move on with the sales of the next waves. And that's why the waves are so mixed up. I'm a member of some of the groups that talk about that. And I can tell that can be very frustrating, especially with the likenesses and the likeness of the actors when you're doing the movie waves and the TV show wave figures, because you can't get approvals through Warner Brothers for those figures. There was supposed to be a Jack Nicholson Joker figure that was supposed to be released with Jack Nicholson's likeness from that movie. Jack Nicholson signed off on it, but Warner Brothers didn't, and that's what held up that figure. They had the prototype done, they had the finished figure done, ready to be sold, and I think it got pulled back. It's happened enough.
Well, if we learned anything about Warner Brothers, they don't like money. I mean, Warner Brothers is constantly making dumb decisions, whether it's with their movies, who's going to helm them, what they're going to greenlight. It's just like they're allergic to money. So we get these one-off Harley Quinn movies and Joker musicals, but the Batman, except we don't get good stuff from them. So I want them to do better, but I kind of feel like as a parent company, they have really, really messed up with their superhero franchises.
Yeah, they now. Do you think this Paramount thing is going to help out?
I am mortified of the tariff. Now we don't get political in this podcast, but you have to understand that Skydance is Trump aligned. They're the ones that helped get Stephen Colbert put off the air for being critical of Donald Trump. They are going to meddle into movies because they are the same ones that were criticizing the first Superman movie under Gunn because Superman identified as an immigrant. So there's going to be a lot of we'll just say Ethan Van Sciver stuff happening with DC movies. Yeah. Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
For those of you guys that don't know, Ethan Van Sciver is a artist that worked for DC Comics, but he kind of got ousted because he's kind of covertly involved with a very right-wing, white supremacist kind of group. He's plugged into the Proud Boys and all this other stuff, so they were responsible for Comicsgate, and they're still kind of in the background all the time, kind of like gender baiting, race baiting, being anti-LGBTQ plus. It's just like just
you froze.
Oh crap! No, you're back. Just being total pieces of crap. So I am hoping like hell that this merger gets blocked, because and I just learned today that the World's Finest movie is on hold until they make a decision with that. So now
Brave and the Bold movie.
Yeah, I said World's Finest, right? Yeah. Brave and the Bold movie is now on hold until they determine what's going on with that merger. Yeah, right now the state of California is trying to block it because it's going to cost them so many jobs. We're in trouble if Warner Brothers gets bought by those people, unless they sell off the comics line. At the end of the day, like, I'm not pitching this as politics, but we have to realize that comics have been a left-wing medium, full stop, since the beginning. When history lesson here, when comics were first starting to be a new thing, the original comics were just reprints of stuff, but the first comics that were actually made specifically for comics were all made by Jewish kids, partially because the Jewish kids' families owned the printing press, and the whole idea was to make money when the papers were already printed. But the second part is that Hollywood had quotas against Jewish people in their writers' rooms. So all those writers like Stan Lee, who couldn't get a job because all the other Jewish people had taken the jobs that were available, had to write somewhere, so they wrote for comics. Stan Lee, I think, was actually like a nephew of one of the owners of the printing press too, so he there's a reason why he gets so much credit. So that's why Captain America entered the World War II before the United States did. First issue Captain America, he's punching Hitler in the face. The U.S. wasn't even in that war yet. The U.S. was dragging their feet about joining that war, but comics were joining because it's a left-winged medium. We go to during the civil rights, era, you had Green Arrow, Green Lantern, hard traveling heroes putting racism right on front page, just like in a way that no other medium is doing. And I think that's what's so important about comics being preserved, is that it's always been newspapers get bought by Skydance. TV stations get bought by Skydance. Over the years, those types of media have been used to push a narrative. They're bought to brainwash people. They're bought to sway people to their side. But comics has been able to stay comics and has kind of existed in kind of a left-wing. We have gay characters now. We have black characters now. If you put that in the hands of a company like Skydance, you're not going to get any of that. That's the reason Marvel is getting all this criticism right now about how they're canceling. They're not doing anything with Black Cap. They're not doing anything with Wonder Man getting canceled. They didn't do anything with Marshall Ali's Blade. I think that's a direct response to the bigotry that's in the White House right now, and they felt like if they pushed those characters out, they were going to get accused of DEI, and he was going to try to sanction them or weaponize his fan base against them. So I think that's the reason why you're losing those characters in the films. So we do not need. I know I went way off kilter, but like that's the real of what's happening now, people. Like we will never get political again, but you're like, why does Disney not like black people? No, Disney likes money, and when black people give them money, that's great. But when the president will threaten to get ABC's license taken away every time they say something that they don't like, that's why Wonder Man doesn't get a season 2. That's why Mahershala Ali doesn't get Blade. So when Kevin Feige's saying, I'm so embarrassed about how this worked, this went with Mahershala Ali, it's because you were a coward. You and your company are a bunch of cowards. They've been rolling over instead of standing up and saying, no, we need to be representative media of the people that we represent. But they're so afraid to go out on the line and say, oh, well, this is what America looks like. We should have these characters. I don't have skin in that game, but I think that at the end of the day, they made them. You know, it's like, if you could accuse Marvel of being anything in the last 8 years, it's having an agenda to force women and people of color into superhero roles. For better or for worse. Some things turn out good, some things turn out bad. I thought the Miss Marvel show was cute, wasn't made for me, but I think she's a fine enough character. You know, I would have loved to see Mahershala Ali as, but like the reason Shang-Chi got pushed to the front of the line isn't because everybody's clamoring for a Shang-Chi movie. It's because we need Asian representation at the front of the line, so let's fast track that. And that's cool. You know, I used to think that didn't matter. When I grew up, I didn't look at these characters having color. I don't know, maybe it's because of my situation, because of where I grew up. You know, I didn't look at these characters having color as having any meaning to heroism. Color doesn't have anything to do with heroism. So I'm looking at black characters, I'm looking at white characters, I'm like, they're all heroes, right? I had no idea that it mattered until the first Suicide Squad movie came out. And the first Suicide Squad movie came out, we're sitting at conventions, and every Hispanic guy that walked past me is in cosplay as El Diablo. And I'm thinking, oh yeah. Oh, wow. Like, okay, maybe there is something to that, because these people are so excited to see themselves represented in film that they're identifying with it. That's the first time I realized, okay, Jody, just because it doesn't work that way for you, it works for everybody else. You know, the way the black community came out and supported the Black Panther movie. You know, like, I can understand why that's a big deal now, because I didn't understand it before, because Black Panther's always been a thing. Like, why did we treat this like it was new? Right? So, I was wrong, but in hindsight, now I see it. Right? So, but that's kind of why I dislike what they did with Black Panther 2 so much. I kind of feel like they attached a cash register to it, and they abused the death of Chadwick Boseman in that movie. It's like, in the first 20 minutes of that movie, they found 3, 4, 5 different ways to sandwich in the fact that, yeah, he's dead. Really sad, right? We're totally not respecting his memory because we're just going to steamroll all the stuff that he did and make this other movie. But, yeah, it's sad he's dead, right? So, yeah. I'm sorry, I went on a rant. But, yeah, you asked the question, and I shouldn't have gotten political, but I think that's the truth of the story. Like, the truth is that Skydance is going to be very, very bad for comics and for movies. They've already done it. I mean, it's already happened with Star Trek. I know you're not a Star Trek fan, but Skydance got involved with Universal, bought their app, and now it's canceled. The future of Star Trek is now canceled. They had shows running on their streaming service. Now they're like, oh, no more Star Trek, because Star Trek is too woke. Which is the most ridiculous damn thing you'll ever hear in your life, because Star Trek is the television show that had the first interracial kiss in the first series. Michelle, I can't remember her last name. Michelle Nichols and William Shatner were the first interracial grouping ever kiss on television. So to call that show too woke, that show has been using aliens as a metaphor for racism since the 60s. So, like, for a company to come in and say, no, this show's too woke, it's like, Have you ever seen this show? So
I got a friend of mine that was just telling me about the new Star Trek series. He was saying it was really good. I can't think of the name of it though.
Strange New Worlds?
Yeah, maybe that's the one.
Strange New Worlds is phenomenal. It's really good. Yeah, I watch it. No,
well then you and Kent will get along. He's a huge Star Trek fan. I don't know if I told you that. But before that was Picard, which I was a big fan of Captain Picard, so I always wanted to watch that series and check it out. But he was telling me about this new one and some of the stuff, the story choices for it. Sounded pretty good.
Well, the Star Trek shows that came out on the streaming service, I think they made a huge mistake by putting them behind a paywall because they're really good. They're kind of intertwined, so you almost have to watch Discovery and then watch Strange New Worlds because they're connected. But they're both a prequel to the original Star Trek.
He was saying that he thought the captain, I think, was the best captain from, I guess, the new show. So
I love Captain Pike. Yes, he is my favorite captain. Maybe there's one other captain in all of Star Trek that I like more, and that guy was in Picard. It's funny because I when I was a kid, I hated Star Trek. I thought Star Trek was so boring. I thought, like, this is dumb. It used to come on Nickelodeon, and I'd be like, who watches this stuff, man? and then, like, I was probably 5th or 6th grade. There was some girls at school that liked Star Trek. They were totally into it, had a crush on Brent Spiner, who plays Data. And I was like, this show is so dumb. And, like, one summer, I caught, like, a marathon of The Next Generation. I got really into it.
Yeah, I like Next Generation.
The older I got, though, the more I started resenting The Next Generation. Because I kind of feel like the premise of The Next Generation and modern Star Trek is we're so cool, war doesn't happen for us, but we're just going to float through the universe and solve all our problems with math and high morality. It wasn't a realistic take. And it wasn't until the Abrams movies that I kind of feel like they got real and they kind of said, oh no, there's corruption in the Federation. And that's kind of echoed in the shows for the Paramount streaming app. So you have the people are flawed. There's corruption in the Federation. It's not all sunshine and rainbows, and I think that's probably the best thing about it. So I would say most of those shows are good. I think Picard had some issues because it was all over the place. There was 3 seasons of it, and the 3 seasons, just kind of, it almost gave you whiplash how much the subject matter changed. The first season was kind of like Picard had rage quit the Federation because he felt like they made a bad political decision. It sacrificed all the Romulan planet, right? And then, but by the time you get to the 3rd season, it's almost like a reunion of The Next Generation. It wasn't even. It was like a sequel to they found a contrived excuse to bring every character back onto the ship, so they're all working together. So you got the whole cast.
Sounds like X-Men '97 there.
A more cohesive yet more convoluted story. Yeah. So yeah. I would say that the writing on X-Men '97 might be a little bit better than the writing in those 2 seasons of Picard. The only difference is that you have so much fan goodwill established for Jean-Luc Picard and the others that you're more forgiving of it in that situation. But those new series, the series that focus on non-canonical the canonical characters, but not modern ones, the prequel shows, stuff like that, they're top notch, man. Like there's seasons here and there that didn't live up to the hype, but I think overall pretty good. But joining the Navy actually changed my perspective because I used to love The Next Generation and hate classic Star Trek. But after joining the Navy, I'm like, Picard's driving around this like city in space. They got like a arboretum and stuff. They got like a McDonald's deck. It's like they're not roughing it, dude. They got everything. They got so much stuff on that ship. They're going to have like holodeck sex and stuff. Like what's going on in this show, right?
Picard would leave. He said, "Number one, I need to do a number two. I have to go immediately," and then he's gone. And then Riker would take over, and he's like, "Oh," and then one of the funniest memes, Star Trek memes I ever see was the character that Whoopi Goldberg plays.
Oh,
a picture of her with the hat, and then they had a picture of a Febreze bottle. It's just like, oh man! When I see that, I say, I can't unsee that now. I thought that was hilarious.
Hilarious. Like the original Star Trek. I know we're on a crazy tangent today. The original Star Trek, Gene Roddenberry's idea. I got some stories to tell you about that man. But yeah, did you know that Gene Roddenberry was in a sex cult?
No.
It's true. It's true. He's in a sex cult. Yeah. He's one of his best friends in the sex cult was L. Ron Hubbard, the guy who started the Scientology religion.
Oh my God!
Which has a connection. Which has a connection to comics, because the guy who created Wonder Woman created the lie detector machine, and L. Ron Hubbard bought the patent for the lie detector machine to use as the e-meter that Scientologists use to do their auditing. But anyways.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I remember when Star Trek The Next Generation came out in the 90s, and I saw LeVar Burton playing his character. And the first thing that comes to mind, I recognize him. I said, "Oh, it's the guy from Rainbow." I guess he read too many rainbows. That's why he wears the visor now.
It's Kunta Kinte in space, man. Come on.
I said, dude, what? He went blind reading too many books. He's got wear that weird looking thermostat thing on his head. So it's like, what is that? Like,
yeah, but Gene Roddenberry's original concept for the Federation was very utopian, and it wasn't a big deal in the series, but when they made the first Star Trek movie, it did really, really poorly because people were bored by it. And the studio held him so responsible when they started making Star Trek 2, they kicked him off the set. They're like, "You're not allowed on the set." They kicked him off completely. They're like, "You got no say in this." They kicked him out. And the director had never watched Star Trek before. He sat down and watched it in his hotel room. He's like, "This is boring. This is just a bunch of dudes flying around in space in leotards, like exploring." So he's responsible for injecting what little fighting there is in Star Trek. So like Gene Roddenberry's credited as being this genius pioneer, and he getting so much credit for what the Next Generation was, but the Next Generation is what it is because that director, that second movie, Gene Roddenberry, got kicked off the set. He just picked up the baton and started drawing again. I'm sorry. So tangent at end. I just if anybody wants to know about that other stuff, just hit me up. hit me up on the email.
Yeah, we'll get some feedback from that. No. Star Trek, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I always felt we should cover sci-fi too. So, on that note, this has been crossing my mind. I don't know if you know this, but T-Dubb is allergic to Star Trek.
No, T-Dubb is allergic to Star Wars.
I mean, I'm sorry. Yeah, Star Wars. My bad. I messed it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. He don't hate it. He just can't stand it. So if there ever comes a time that we have to do a Star Trek show or movie, I will need a co-host, just like
Star Wars.
Damn, I did it again, didn't I? A Star Wars. I
like Star Trek. Star Wars, I can't get into.
If there's ever a time where we need to do a Star Wars review or Star Wars show review, I will need a co-host for those episodes, just like he will need a co-host for the episodes of What did we talk about? We talked about before. I was like, yeah, I'm out on that. We talked about something offline about something I wouldn't be able to back you up on.
Wrestling?
I mean, yeah, but I don't know why we'd be. I mean, it could be the Power Rangers stuff because we were talking about
maybe.
We're talking about you and Nick, but I don't think I would have opted myself completely out. I just don't have a lot to offer in that.
I think that was the only one that you totally didn't know anything about.
There's something else. It'll come to me because I was like, yeah, I'm out on that because I have no idea.
Yes. Yeah.
Either way, if anybody has something to offer in those genres, or those little cul-de-sacs of the genre, feel free to reach out and offer us your curriculum vitae in the neighborhood, because like we've already talked about having Nick on to help out with Power Rangers or the Legend of the White Dragon when it comes out. You were saying, Telly?
Yeah. Was it Star Wars? Yeah, Star Wars just had some movie come out, and I saw the Blu-ray in Walmart.
Mandalorian and Grogu. Mandalorian and Grogu.
Yeah, that came out pretty fast.
I tell you what, it has been a terrible summer for movies, man, because every movie that came out this summer, except for Spiderman and there's one other one that cleaned up, I think Toy Story, they all tanked. Mandalorian Grogu tanked. He-Man Masters Universe tanked. Supergirl tanked for some unknown reason.
Well, I could tell you about 50. So, like, Mickey, you want to go see Supergirl with me? No, Pee-wee, I'm a rebel. I'm a loner. See you in the promised land of Riverdale.
No, I think
that's what James Gunn said about that Supergirl movie. You didn't hear from him the whole premiere week.
It was his movie, though. It was his movie.
It was his movie. It was sold as his movie. His universe, his movie. He was supposed to show up.
Hey, you know what? Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was sold as Joss Whedon's, too. And he never had anything to do with it. He had nothing to do with it. In fact, after the show was getting panned, he's like, hey, I want to clear things up here. Disney is selling the show with my name on it, but I have nothing to do with that show. I mean,
what I would have did was Supergirl.
Apparently, there's some beef between Gillespie and Gunn. Actually, apparently, there's some beef between.
He phoned it in with him. He said, "Yeah, this really sucks because you didn't follow my direction." I think it was one of those old things where James Gunn said, "This is what I'm approving," but somebody else in between said, "Nope." And then when James Gunn seen what the movie was, he was like, "That's not what I approved."
Oh. But while we're on that subject,
oh boy, you got some stat about the streaming.
This is
Supergirl.
I told you this is the I told you so tour. Whenever I see something, I'm going to bring it into the episode. So, and I'll put it right here, right here, down for you. Yeah,
down, way down.
Tom King. Who wrote Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow comic book, which the movie was based on, says,
loosely,
there's a joy in Millie Alcock's performance of embodying the rebellious nature of the character and how brilliant she brought it to life. So
she did what they told her to do, but it still didn't come out right. Doesn't mean it was good.
No, there's a lot of people criticizing her and her ability and what she did wrong and what she looked like. And there's the writer saying, no, he did a good job. She did a good job. And Tom, you got to admit, Tom King is a good writer.
He is, but I don't know. I don't know. It's just cute. Again, I don't have anything against Millie Alcock. I think she did to the best of her ability with the material they gave her. It's the material I didn't like. It was the timing of the movie. The movie, it doesn't make sense to do it now.
We kind of talked about
they could have did this movie 13 years from now.
We talked about this offline. But we've kind of brushed on this stuff before, but Telly's an artist, and I'm a writer. So Telly likes to watch things that he would like to draw, and I like to watch things that I'd be interested in writing. So, like, the movie on its face just was not going to be something for him because what it was about. So, like, you know, we just come at this from a different perspective. That's probably good because we can see over both sides of the mountain because he's coming at it one way, I'm coming at it from another. Unfortunately, all the good stuff about the movie was hidden on the writer's side.
No, because there was no artistry in it. She had no one to fight. You take Lobo out of that movie, who's she fighting?
I'm telling, dude, we've had this conversation. These people have heard it. If I had a phone and I can call our listeners right now, they would be able to tell you what I've already said to you 5 times every time this comes up. The villain of that movie was her grief. It wasn't about who she had to fight. And I think that's the interest. That's the interesting thing about the movie.
I don't care. They're in relationship. Her name is Supergirl. That means somehow,
her name in that movie was Kara Zor-El. Kara Zor-El. She is not Supergirl until the end of the movie. She is not Supergirl until the end of the movie.
You didn't take that trench coat. You knew that because she didn't take the trench coat off until 15 minutes left in the movie. It was all surrounded by smoke.
You watched the origin story of a character you never seen an origin story.
There was no origin story.
Yes, there was an origin story.
Up. She was talking about the origin story. She got interrupted. Then she went back to the origin story. Then you realize that the end of the origin story should have been at the beginning of the origin story. That would have made it a great origin story, which it was not. That movie was so displaced. I felt like they should have been taking a tour of her headquarters and then get chased by monsters at the end. It was terrible.
Joe. He didn't hate it.
You're not going to make me like it.
I'm not trying to make you like it. I just demonstrated that you're not going to like it because we're coming at it from 2 different perspectives.
But it's not. It was nothing to draw in that movie. Nothing.
Kelly, you're saying what I just said right now. You realize, right? So you're saying, yeah, Jody, you're right. Because I just said this. I just said all of this. I said the reason you can't stand this movie so much, and the reason I keep trolling you with it, is because this attitude you have about it. But, like, I get it. I understand where you're coming from. I understand why you didn't like it. But I just, like, saying it had no redeeming qualities, at least I can acknowledge on the other side, like, yeah, it had some stuff. Like, the fight scenes were obscured and all that other stuff. I just kind of feel like you keep defaulting back to this position where there's nothing good about this thing. Like, we've established that there's some good stuff about these things. Like, we got to stop talking about this movie, but you just can't handle the "I told you so" tour, man.
They need to do a remake of this movie.
I don't believe that's true. I don't think we need to do. We've already seen the origin story.
What's the director's name again?
Gillespie. David Gillespie, I think.
We need a Gillespie cut. 4 hours.
No, we got
it. Next week.
No, thank you. We do not need a Gillespie cut. I watched.
Let me put it together.
I watched the Snyder cut, and I don't need the Snyder cut, dude. Like people that hemmed and hawed to get that Snyder cut out of their mind. The only good thing about the Snyder cut is they got rid of the janky Steppenwolf and Darkseid. That's the only good thing. Like, there was, like, weird needle drops in the Snyder cut and, like, some weird, like, ritual with Aquaman and a Nirvana song. Like, what in the hell is going... Like, it was overindulgent, is what it was. It's like... it's the reason why directors shouldn't get a director's cut. It's the Snyder cut. And the things we just learned about the Snyder cut today, Telly. Oh, man. We dodged a bullet. We dodged a bullet, people. We dodged a bullet.
Buy into our Patreon, and we'll tell you about the Snyder cut stuff that we discovered on our Patreon. Donate, please.
We'll have to talk about it, though. We haven't talked about it, though.
We can get a Supergirl movie written by Jody, storyboarded by me.
I don't think I would do that job, dude. I don't think I'm not the right person for that job. I am not the right person for that job. And again, as we established in the Supergirl episode, even I don't think I could do a good job of writing that movie because you're going to have criticism from all sides, man. You're going to have people criticizing it because it's a DEI thing. Well, she's only getting a movie because she's a woman. And then you're going to have people criticizing it because, I mean, the stuff they say about this poor girl, man, saying
poor
she looks
girl,
like a...
Poor Smo. This, all I need is some needle and thread. And
that's damaging, dude. The stuff they're saying about this girl, man. She's a perfectly fine-looking girl. Nobody said anything about her when she was in. Nobody said anything about her when she's in House of Dragons. In fact, people were probably saying creepy stuff about how attractive she was when she was playing a 12-year-old girl. You know,
not on this show.
But the superhero fan base is so toxic, man. They're saying she looks like a caveman. She's got a belly, putting these Chaka from the Land of the Lost memes out with her, man. Really mean stuff, dude. Really mean stuff. Could you imagine waking up and finding out the entire internet says you look like a caveman kid? That's got to be damaging, man. That's got to be messed up.
I don't know, man. I think she just got a lot of negative rap. And she should blame the marketing for Warner Brothers, the director of that
huge marketing
for
problem.
putting her in this bed, and the agent. The agent got her to say, "You need to be in this movie." No, I don't.
I think that I don't believe the movie was as bad as you believe it is. I think it's got some problems. It's got some studio meddling problems, but I kind of feel like that's the Warner Brothers shtick, is studio meddling problems.
Oh, that
I mean,
man.
At the end of the day, like
the Flash movie, the Harley Quinn movie, the Aquaman movies, the Joker musicals, dude, all those movies, when you throw them up on the screen, you're like, what? Why? What were these movies made? Why did they make these? I mean,
movies? That's the Snyderverse, man. That's what you always keep defending.
No, it's not. None of those movies is Snyderverse.
Yes, they are.
Snyderverse is Man of Steel, Batman versus Superman, and the Justice League movies. Shazam. None of the other stuff. The Wonder Woman. Shazam ain't Snyderverse.
Yes, it is.
It's somebody else's verse. No,
it's Shazam. Yes,
no,
it was.
It's not.
Yes, it absolutely was. Yes, it absolutely was. It's even
Black
got
Adam
Steven,
wasn't even it.
It's even got Henry Cavill in it, dude. In the cafeteria scene at the beginning. And so does Black Adam.
Get out of here.
And so does Black Adam. Absolutely, dude. You are out of your mind, dude. It's like you want to erase anything that doesn't fit your narrative, but dude, those are part of the Snyder abomination.
No, they're not. Those movies aren't even mentioned in that. Those movies are Snyder.
He wouldn't mention them because some of them were actually good films.
None of them.
Wonder Woman and Black Adam. Dude. The Shazam movies that you haven't seen. Here you go again, crapping on some movies you haven't watched.
No, because they're not going to make any difference now because they were never intended to be a part of any universe. They sabotaged this is too dark. But Supergirl wasn't dark at all. It looked like it was filmed the original Masters of the Universe stage.
Hey, I gotta tell you, most of the movies in the last 4 or 5 years from Marvel aren't going to matter either. It ain't stopping people from watching them.
I could have stopped some people from seeing Supergirl. That movie didn't make sense.
Supergirl was far better than Secret Invasion.
I mean, that Secret Invasion wasn't even. That was a show. That was. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you on that.
But what is a show anymore? What is a show if it's not a movie with 10 episodes?
Well, I mean, because budget reasons is the difference, and the money that you have to spend on the actors that do it. That Hawkeye show was
Ghost Rider: Spirits of Vengeance. Remember it?
Oh, but that wasn't Marvel MCU Marvel.
Yes, it was.
That was Fox.
No, it's not
MCU.
It is MCU. I told you this. The Ghost Rider movie and the first and the Hulk movie were technically the first MCU pictures. The reason why Marvel Studios exists, the reason it exists is because of the Ghost Rider movie. Marvel had the Universal agreement with Ghost Rider, and Marvel execs went to see what Universal had done with Ghost Rider, and they said the special effects were such trash. They said, screw you, we're taking back our film rights, and we are no longer we're going to make our own studio, and we're going to release it ourselves. So the first Ghost Rider film with Nicolas Cage, for some damn reason, like, can we stop casting this guy in movies? He's been in enough superhero stuff. It's like we grandfather him in because Tim Burton almost made him Superman once. But the reason the first Ghost Rider movie was the first movie made by MCU. So we don't own it, we don't claim it, but it is an MCU movie. It's the first one that's made from Marvel Studios. They reclaimed the rights from Paramount because they thought the special effects were trash. And that's when the Ed Norton Hulk movie got made, and that's when the first Ghost Rider movie got made. And you can't say that the Ed Norton Hulk movie wasn't a part of the MCU because there's MCU Easter eggs that got cut out of it that are in the special footage. You got a frozen Captain America, and you have a Captain America shield in the extra footage of that movie.
I think the Ed Norton Hulk movie was great.
I think great is a stretch. I mean, I think...
But you're saying that because of the actor. I thought...
No. I love Ed Norton. Well, Fight Club's one of my favorite movies. He's problematic as hell. Every time he gets in... what Ed Norton does is Ed Norton gets involved in a movie and he says, I don't really like this line. You mind if I change this line? And he'll do that to the director all day. He'll do these line reels. I don't like that line. Can I change this line? And then at the end of the movie, he said, I should have writing credit. That's why Marvel got rid of him. Because he's a pain, and he did the same thing on Italian Job. On Italian Job, he's in Italian Job with was that Clooney? I think that's George Clooney, right? No, it's Mark Wahlberg. Mark Wahlberg. Yeah. He did the same thing on Mark, and he was so pissed off that they wouldn't give him writing credit on the movie. He said, "Then take my name off of it completely." Ed Norton's name is not in the credits to that movie at all because he was mad that they wouldn't give him writing credit. Sure. So the reason Mark Ruffalo got a job is because Disney got tired of him because of what he does, and he does it all the time. I think he's a great actor, but he's a problematic actor because he does it. He does this shenanigans all the time, which is basically what Ryan Reynolds does now. Ryan Reynolds gets into a job, he'll start little squabbles with people in the movie to get them fired, and he'll try to steal their job, or he'll talk smack about them behind their back until the studio lets them go, and then he'll slide in their role. Next thing you know, he's a producer on the movie, which is why I have a problem with him too. Yeah, but end of the day, Ghost Rider is not a Fox movie. It is a MCU movie that was originally supposed to be distributed by Universal. But the whole reason the MCU exists is because of the debacle with the special effects in Ghost Rider. They said, screw it, we're going to make our own studio. No, they never looped it into canon. But my understanding is, the argument is that, what's his name? The guy they just cast as Ghost Rider.
Ryan Gosling.
Ryan Gosling, they're saying he's going to play Danny Ketch, and the reason he's going to play Danny Ketch is because they're going to keep Nicolas Cage, Johnny Blaze as canon. In fact, one of the characters that was in the movie with him has already been cast to come back. There's a woman. I can't remember her name. It's not.
Oh yeah, I think I read that.
It's not Ava Mendes.
No.
So.
I know who you're talking about.
So now they're literally showing off the fact that it's MCU. If they're going to make Gosling Danny Ketch and keep Nicolas Cage as Ghost Rider and actually bring over a supporting cast.
Oh yeah, I did read that. Oof.
No, dude,
yeah,
but on that note, if Ghost Rider 1 is MCU, and that means that Ghost Rider Spirits of Vengeance also is, in that movie, was hot trash.
I didn't see
You and I got a bootleg copy of it and put it on at my house, and it was so bad. It was so bad. We immediately stopped watching it. We were like, "What is this?"
Is that the one that Idris Elba's in?
That's the one Idris Elba's in. Yeah. Like,
is he the bad guy? No,
I don't remember, to be honest with you. Like, because
he came out. He came out with a movie. He came out with a movie. Stephen King, The Dark Tower, because that's printed by Marvel, but it's not a Marvel.
Yeah, that was. I've read the Dark Tower books up until the 4th chapter, but that movie was an abomination of the. So why don't we go ahead and throw it to our audience for input? Hey, if you want to be a part of our Star Wars episode, or you have any feedback on some of the stuff we're talking about, that would be a good time to do it. Remember, if you want to contact us, you can reach us by email. secretidentitiesmedia@gmail.com. contact@secret-identities.com. Or on any of our socials, secret_identities_media on Instagram, sec_ident_media on X Twitter, secret_identities_pod on TikTok, or just search Secret Identities on Facebook. You can find links for these in the show notes wherever you found us, on the title card at the end of the show, or just scan the QR code on your screen for our link tree. So I've been derailing the whole podcast with my tirades about politics and story mistakes and stuff like that. Except for the Supergirl stuff, that was completely necessary. But apparently you had some news we were supposed to cover.
Some news, some new news, some super news that doesn't involve a girl.
We talking about what?
Yeah. Another big event that I forgot that just passed, actually was last weekend, was while we were off, was D23. Disney had their own little convention-esque thing where they talked about all the plethora of sequels.
Like X-Men
that are going to be coming out. Yeah, and the sequels for all of the movies. Did you see that list? I meant to send it to you.
No.
They got a lot of movies coming out in the next 5 years. No, not Marvel movies. Disney. This was a Disney event, but they own Marvel, so
it's rehashable stuff. It's gonna be like, a live action version of this movie you've already seen 900 times.
Well, no, not all of them are. Most of them are sequels to the animated So some of the ones from the list are Star Wars Starfighter, directed by Sean Levy and starring Ryan Gosling as Cade Oberon. That's set for it's going to be set 5 years after The Rise of Skywalker and should be in theaters in May 2027. As we were talking about offline, The Mandalorian and Grogu just came out on Blu-ray and DVD this past week, and it'll be available on Disney Plus on September 2nd. How do you say her name? Ahsoka
Tano.
And that's played by...
let me see. Her name is...
from Men in Black and stuff.
Oh, she's the night nurse in the MCU. Her name is... From Clerks. Why can't I remember her name? Why can't I remember? Ava... No? Not Ava Miller.
No.
Damn, why can't I remember her name? What the hell's happening to my brain right now?
Good grief. Yeah, it slipped my mind too. Rosario Dawson,
yeah. Which is... Yeah. Rosario Dawson is objectively an attractive woman.
Yes,
but it seems to be on a sliding scale because sometimes you look at her, you're like, she looks kind of like a dude, and sometimes you look at her and go, damn, look at her. So like, I don't know. I just because like in Clerks, first time I saw her in Clerks 2, I was like, ooh. I mean, but like when I see her now, I'm like, damn, she's attractive. I am not into her as an alien in Star Wars, though. She does not look not a big thing.
Not look good as an alien. Well, that they had a teaser trailer debut for season 2, and Hayden Christensen is reprising his role as Anakin Skywalker, Ghost.
That meant a lot to the fans, but I never watched Clone Wars, so but that I have to hand it to them. Where Marvel Disney is failing, Star Wars is picking it up because of the Filoni connection to the shows that Favreau is doing. He's got a seamless continuity between their animated stuff for the last 20 years and their live action stuff.
Oh, yeah, I heard it's a big following.
To be able to see cartoons that you watched or digital animation shows that you watch and see characters you watch grow up on those shows and then see them in live action on the screen, that's got to be a thrilling moment, you know. I'm aware of them when I see them, but I'm like, I never watched that show really. Stuff like Clone Wars and Star Wars Rebels had characters appear in Ahsoka and a couple of their other Disney Plus shows and now movies. So like you're seeing characters that you grew up watching in animation like literally jump onto the screen. That's got to be thrilling, man. I've always hated how movies steamroll what you used to know and just do their own version of it instead of being respectful to what you loved. So I would say that's the one thing they're doing right.
Yeah. I've heard some great things about the animated versions of the movies and the tie-in. I actually like that effect. Some of the Disney Pixar announcements, they have an animated movie called Hexed that will be out in November of this year. It's being voiced by Haley Steinfeld. She is attached to that movie. Frozen 3 coming out not this Thanksgiving, but next Thanksgiving 2027. Zootopia 3. It's in early development. They have a Blu-ray animated movie, a 3D animated feature that'll be out August of 2027. Yep, they own it. So,
I didn't know that.
Yeah. They just made a big purchase. I don't know if you know this because I have a 4-year-old. They just struck a deal with the Gracie's Corner, the YouTube phenomenon that teaches kids phonics and ABCs, and they take songs and take interpolations of the songs and make new nursery rhymes. They got a lot of island music kind of incorporated into it, a lot of hip hop, go-go. They have a Chuck Brown song that they redid that's very popular. Hendrix watches it and sings along to her stuff. Well, the parents of the little girl that sings the songs that the animated is voiced by, the parents own the rights, and it's a family thing. It's a doctor and a lawyer, African-American family. It's based on their daughter named Gracie, who does the voice. They just struck a deal with Disney. They have millions of followers on YouTube. They struck a deal with Disney, where Disney is going to distribute and put in compilations of her songs into specials. It happened about 2 months ago now, and it's on the Disney Plus. But the deal is that the family retains all the rights to their enterprise, or their IP, and Disney. That is a great deal. Them being a doctor and a lawyer, they know what they're talking about, and they know what they wanted from the deal.
It's a generational wealth they're about to fall into.
That's crazy.
It's awesome.
Speaking of which, this deal was nowhere near the scale. But did you know that years ago in the 90s when Lion King came out. I'm sure you've probably seen this story repeat itself on Instagram and Facebook. Jason Weaver, young black actor, he did the voice of the younger Simba, and he actually did the vocals. He played Michael Jackson in the Jackson 5 movie. He was the singer of the I Just Can't Wait to Be King that Simba sings in Lion King. His mother stepped in when he was about to sign the contract to Disney. Instead of just getting paid a lump sum for the salary for doing the song, he got it prolonged for a lifetime contract where
back end.
And he gets all the residuals from that. And it's a big lesson that's actually used in a lot of classes and stuff where
that's how Robert Downey Jr. got so wealthy when his career was in trouble when he took Iron Man. So they didn't really want to pay him much. He said, that's fine, we'll take points on the back end. They didn't expect Iron Man to do well. That's why you hear all the Marvel, we have a plan thing. It's nonsense. Because they didn't expect it to do well. And that's what gave him all his bargaining power when Avengers came around, because Marvel, MCU, wanted to short shrift every other actor in the movie. And not give them pay, and Robert Downey Jr. says, pay them what they deserve, or I'm not showing up. So he had all the leverage, and he's the one that got all of them. Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth, Scarlett Johansson, all of them got more money because he stood up for them.
I heard that. So with the Bluey movie coming out next August, they have another Ice Age movie coming. Dude, I remember seeing.
There's been a lot of Ice Age.
How many? Look that up for me while I'm jibber jabbering. How many Ice Age movies have there been?
I imagine 6 of them.
No, I think it's more than that, because I remember those things coming out when my oldest daughter Elle, shout out to her, was younger.
I have a close connection to the Ice Age movies because I am a lonely loner, full of aloneness. Let me see. Ice Age, the Meltdown, Dawn of the Dinosaurs, Continental Drift, Collision Course, Boiling Point. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I was right. I said 6. And then there's a spin-off.
This is the 6th one coming up.
There's a spin-off called The Adventures of Buck Wild. That's that.
Wow.
That's the one with the leaf eye patch from the second movie. That's that a mammal with a leaf eye patch.
So Boiling Point is set to release next February.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 short films. That's probably what you were thinking. There's 8 short films.
Oh, okay, yeah. I remember, because the short films used to be the extras on the Blu-ray, or they would be the intro to some of the movies that came out.
1 Scratch miniseries and 2 Christmas specials. So
that's a lot of Ice Age. Some of the live action other products, they have a live action Tangled movie, which the CGI should be pretty cool in that with all the hair and stuff. My daughters were big fans of Tangled.
I like Tangled. Let's just watch Tangled again. Let's stop this live action remake BS. They lost their butt on Moana. Moana did not do well. They're not gonna learn their lesson until they lose all their damn money trying to do these live action remakes. It's one thing when it's that movie that they've been pulling out of the vault for 50 years. It's another thing when it's a movie that you saw within your lifetime. It's like, we don't need to do that. Like, let's stop doing these remakes.
They have a hybrid live-action animation miniseries called Oswald coming.
It's Oswald the Rabbit, probably. Oswald Rabbit was the original creation before Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. Jon Favreau announced it. So, that one's coming.
I tell you what, I love what that guy is doing, but he's also doing too many cheeseburgers. You see how big he is now? Jon Favreau.
I remember when he was in. Remember when he was in? Was it 4 Christmases with Vince Vaughn.
Honestly, that's when he was getting heavy. Yeah, that's when he was getting heavy, though. Like,
no, he was. I was just watching that.
I know he's
and I was like,
he's got muscles in that movie. But man, I tell you what, he's enormous.
Iron Man, he was just like, wow.
Yeah, but he's bigger than that now. Since he's just been directing, he's gotten way bigger than that.
I heard. Yeah. Some of the news we're getting to later in the episode, because we had so much news and tangents that we came upon. DCU has released Lanterns, the Green Lantern centered show that started on HBO Max last week. We've both seen the first 2 episodes, and we're going to talk a little bit about that coming up.
I've only seen the first one.
You didn't see the second episode?
No, I was going to watch it this evening, but I got distracted.
Oh, I thought you saw both.
Well, no, it just came out last night, right?
Yeah.
I was kind of still drooping from the trip, so I was like, I want to watch it when I can pay attention to it. I know it got really good ratings, but I kind of feel like those ratings aren't deserved. And I'm not saying it's a bad show. I'm not. There's no Supergirl in it. It's kind of disappointing. No, in all seriousness, I don't feel like the story has done anything yet.
Right.
So the fact that it hasn't done anything yet kind of makes me feel like, how can we give this a 91% on Rotten Tomatoes when the story hasn't done anything? Like it is not disappointing me supposed to get you an A score these days? Like, scoring things is so binary now. It's either I loved it or I hated it. Like, I don't hate it. I can't stand it. No, I hate that the way we are. Like, who gives a movie a C anymore? No one. Everybody's like, oh, this is trash. This shouldn't have ever been made. Or it was great. It's the best thing ever. Just nobody's ever right there in between saying this was really cool. Could have been better. But, like, I don't understand. Like, so, like, I like Aaron Pierre. I don't know that I love what's his name, Kyle Chandler as Hal, but he's a serviceable Hal. But the story didn't really do much for the first episode. So, like, to have people giving it such praise, I'm like, okay, like...
Because all of the reviews that I see, they're all comparing it to, this in 2 episodes, this show outdid that monstrosity of a movie that they came out with the CGI suits and stuff like that. So that's, they always comparing stuff to.
Well, I think that
when I talk about comedy, I don't ever think about that, because that's all he was in.
Well, you got to remember, a lot of people don't have a frame of reference for Greenland. A lot of comic fans or comic media fans don't have a reference for Green Lantern other than the Justice League Unlimited John Stewart. So general audiences don't have a reference for Green Lantern in general, except for the Ryan Reynolds Abomination. And I got it's fair criticism for that movie, because it doesn't have a lot of redeemable qualities, especially because the Hal Jordan doesn't resemble Hal Jordan. It's just another excuse for Van Wilder to make stupid ass jokes. The one thing that's going to make this show better than the Ryan Reynolds Green Lantern pit stop is the fact that it's grounded. It's grounded on Earth. It's not jumping right into space. Huge mistake of that movie. You know, the first Green Lantern movie with Ryan Reynolds shouldn't have Ryan Reynolds in it, number one. But even if we had to keep him, it should have been The Greatest American Hero. It should have been Hal Jordan getting the ring, trying to learn how to use the ring by trial and error before he met the Guardians of the Universe, which is how Green Lantern happened originally. He didn't go, hey, you got the ring, let's go see the Guardians in space. It didn't work that way. He got the ring from Abin Sur, and he had to figure out how to use it on his own, and eventually he got introduced to the fact that he was a space cop, and there were thousands of them all over the galaxy. So I think that it's a good idea to keep that story grounded, and there's a lot of speculation on some very interesting things they're doing on that show. Like, there's a character in the second episode which is quite possibly a mainstay villain, DCU villain, apparently. No, you didn't notice?
No, I did, but I can't talk about what I've seen.
Well, I don't want to call it a spoiler, but like,
no,
I'm not spoiling anything because I don't know anything. I saw some speculation on who Garrett Dillahunt's character actually is today. That's really interesting.
Well, you see more. You see that second episode. We'll talk. We'll push that off.
So I guess the question is, should we do spoiler review for that show?
No, it's a series because it's going to be. Yeah, we just.
We did X-Men. We did X-Men as a spoiler review. X-Men. We did 97.
But after we opened up, we shouldn't have. So because it didn't accomplish anything because there's so much that came out the rest of the episode.
I just don't think there's.
So but I mean, we seriously have to think about, if we do it week by week? I think it's exciting like this. I'm kind of happy they didn't, because there's nothing unless you go outside of comic genre. It's not a lot to watch right now, other than rehashing old stuff. So I'm kind of glad they didn't force you into, we dropped the whole season in one day.
I think if we're gonna do I think because we have to be respectful of spoilers and people that don't have all the time to watch it all at once. You can binge it, but a lot of people have jobs and kids. But I think if we're gonna do retro reviews for those shows, we should probably do a 50-50. We should probably just split the series in half and do the first 5, second 5. So, do them non-consecutive, give people plenty of time to watch them. You all right?
Yeah, I just got itchy. But yeah. No, I agree with you. But I think I thought the first episode was pretty exciting. It's you can tell it's going to be a slow build because they want to reveal things as they go. I thought the second episode kind of topped the first episode.
One thing kind of twigged me in the first episode.
Some of the things that happened.
One thing twigged me a little bit.
What's that?
A Green Lantern ring lighting a cigarette? Like,
oh, yeah.
Like, that's not how that works. It can punch your cigarette, but it can't light your cigarette.
You got some more stuff happening in the next episode, so you got to tune in and see that second one. I thought the second episode topped the first episode. You'll know why probably right off the bat. But I thought it was another thing. I think the pacing of the show is really good because not everything's happening all at once. You got to get to it. It's almost like a X-Files type thing. There's
a big cliffhanger at the end of the first episode. It's supposed to be very significant. But I got to tell you, as a writer, I have a tendency to be able to see around corners in a story. And I could tell you about 5 reasons why that is not significant. Well, why that thing happens at the end of the first episode is not significant at all. I mean, it's just anybody who's watching that show and going, oh my gosh, look what happened. I'm like, you are a fool, man. You're not really falling for that, are you?
You got more to come in the next second episode. So, definitely tune into that. I think it's pretty good. It's a pretty good show. Very well acted, and a lot of surprises. I think they're going to keep coming with them, and it's not obvious either. There's some stuff for the diehard Green Lantern fans that's in there. A couple of name drops in this episode, the second episode, that were kind of cleverly put in, so it's going to make you think and go, is that? Or did she just say, yeah? So
I got the general impression that Hal Jordan is going to keep going back to Sinestro on the science cells in Oa as like a Hannibal Lecter type character. And like, what an interesting way to treat that villain. So many of the things that we've watched have really fallen. I mean, even the Doom thing we discussed has really fallen down on like giving you the importance of a character or conveying to you that they're a serious business character. So, like, what a cool way to do it for Sinestro to have him be the Hannibal Lecter of this series, where you're going to him as the mastermind and saying, "Hey, what's going on with this crime here?" So I think that's an interesting take. It's very interesting, very very clever.
Yeah, but I think you're gonna see some things you're gonna like in a second. I can't wait to discuss it with you and see where it goes. Speaking of, we were talking about Star Wars at D23 or around that time. I think it was the end of San Diego and going into D23. They announced this crossover with Marvel that Kevin Smith's writing. The Star Wars New Hope thing with, I guess it's called Star Wars New Hope.
What a waste of paper! What a it
hasn't even come out yet, and you can't stand it. Just don't.
I mean, look. Here's the thing. Like,
that's your rating. I don't like it. I just can't stand it. I don't hate it.
I mean, no. I mean, look. There are things that happen sometimes in the comic book medium where you're like, oh, that's kind of interesting. But that is going to be I mean, because it's MCU and Star Wars and Disney owns both of them, that is going to be floor to ceiling. It's going to be like 30 books, I'm sure. I'm sure there's going to be a whole bunch of books wrapped up into that. And they're going to treat it like a big deal. There's going to be fanfare. There's going to be like standees in the stores and and window decals and all this other stuff. And people that love Star Wars as completionists, they're going to run out and get it. And look, I don't hate Star Wars and I don't hate Marvel, but there is not going to be a damn thing that comes out of those books that's going to be consequential to the canon of either company. So this isn't even a DCU versus Marvel crossover where you get the question answered finally, who would win in a fight between your two guys. This is going to be we have slapped 2 logos on this book because we want to steal your money, and it's not going to give you anything consequential ever. It's like, I mean, no one's going to open up one of those books and be like, oh man, I'm going to wait. I can't wait to tell my grandkids about this book because it's going to be it's going to be a big nothing burger. People are going to spend a ton of money for it. And you should appreciate this conversation.
This book ain't even. The poor David Marquez, who's drawing this book, he drew the Defenders book a couple years ago with Brian Michael Bendis when the show was on. He hasn't even gotten probably to the 5th issue yet, and Jody dirtbagged this thing already.
He drew the short straw because he's probably like, God, man. Hey, this ain't gonna matter for nothing. He posted the other day. He's excited. Of course, he's probably a Star Wars fan, so he's ready to draw some lightsabers and stuff.
Everybody said, "I'm gonna be able to pay my rent. I'm gonna draw this book." Now that Jody put out this podcast,
I love Kevin Smith, and Kevin Smith loves Star Wars. So, like, I get to hear all about. I've heard all about it. I like his take on it. I like the fact that he insinuates dirty jokes into the Star Wars canon when he talks about it. Like, that's up my alley. But this book is not going to have any of that. It's not going to have the funny sense of humor about Star Wars. It's not going to, I mean, I was a kid. I loved it when Luke Skywalker and Chewbacca showed up on the Muppets. That was fun to watch. This book isn't even going to be that. I would rather watch that Muppet episode again.
I already can see what they're doing behind the scenes. When you go the week of December 18th and you go see Doomsday, and when Doom beats and kills all the old Fox, Sony X-Men, and he levels the playing field and whips all of the MCU people, and then that incursion Porter Owens and Darth Vader and the Star Wars guys jump out, Jody gonna be like, I have arrived. This is it. I love it. That's what they're setting you up for. They're not two Dooms. There's a Darth Vader and there's a Doom. And you're about to see it in the theaters, Jody. You're about to see it. He's like, no, you're crazy, Telly.
Nope.
It was terrible. Nope.
Hey, don't get me started about the mismanagement of Star Wars. I got problems with Star Wars too, Telly. I can articulate.
That's a whole nother episode.
We don't have enough time in this episode for me to tell you about the stuff I got a problem with in Star Wars, in the modern Star Wars. But
so I did hear talking to you this week that you got a couple topics on your mind for good old Mary Marvel there. It seems to me that you got something about the old Raging Cajun Gambit transformation that's supposed to be going down in the comics.
Oh,
about that.
I totally forgot about this. Okay. This one I think is important to talk about because...
Soundbite. Action.
Well, I don't know if you we got a lot of lay people that listen to our podcast. They're not necessarily steeped in the comic. Marvel likes to refer to itself as the House of Ideas, and I like to refer to them as the House of Dumb Ideas, because they're always doing because they use, and we've criticized them in the past. You've heard us criticize them. They use their status quo reset so liberally to erase all the dumb stuff that they do. It's like they get like one status quo reset a year, so they can just erase all the dumb stuff that they do.
They're doing an Avengers Armageddon crossover right now, and I got the solicitation book for December, and it got Avengers #1 again. Why do you keep starting these books over?
I think the Armageddon crossover... I'll get back to that. So in X-Men, they have revealed that Gambit, the guy with the kinetically charged playing cards and other objects guy, the really cool, roguish kind of guy that throws cards that are kinetically charged. Well, he has a new power. His ability to transform into a dragon. And a new code name. His name is now Wyvern.
What?
And yeah.
MacGyver?
No, Wyvern. Like you have to be steeped in mythology to recognize that. So it's a mythological beast. Like this. I mean, the first time you saw Gambit turn into a dragon, you had to be like, "Well, this ain't staying. This is obviously not." So, what is the point in doing something so ridiculous and drastic in your book that even your reader in the moment is going to be like, "Wonder how long before they stop this from happening?" Like it's just so ridiculous, and a lot of people will be like, "How can you say it's bad? You haven't read it." I don't care if I haven't read it. This is bad. There's nothing that's going to justify a dude that has. It'd be one thing if you had a reptilian character or a character that had some other power that made that make sense. But the dude throws kinetically charged playing cards. It's like him turning into a dragon. I'll share some screenshots of. This is ridiculous, and I know a lot of people that are lay people to comics media are invested in this character. So I think that they're going to be just as offended by this as I am. So I thank you for reminding me because I thought, man, but yeah, this is the latest installment of the House of Dumb Ideas. I'm sorry if you're a Marvel fan and you like the idea of Wyvern. I have to tell you, you are wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounded pretty bad. They got a lot more bad ideas that they solicit every month, and I just wonder where they coming up with this stuff at.
They try to be overall positive, but
some DC news. Today marks the day. I'm excited for it because I remember being a fan of the comic series in the 90s. Batman Nightfall, the animated movie, 3-parter. Part 1 drops today on streaming, later today, and it'll be out on Blu-ray on September 8th. Rated R, interested in it. Animation style from the previous DC animated studio. So looking for that. This is going to be the first time that his name is John Paul Leon
Valley.
Azrael
Valley.
John Paul Valley. John Paul Valley will be animating his original Azrael costume that Joe Quesada made famous.
I'm curious how that's going to come off. I'm curious how that's going to come off, because like the way Quesada drew it, I don't feel like anybody else could draw it right, really, because Quesada, like it had so much crushed black in it, right? So like it almost didn't even have dimension the way Quesada drew it. It was almost like impressionist the way he drew that character. Like it was just full of really dark shadows and like glowy eyes and like red accents. So I think trying to get that drawn into something that has 3 dimensions, I think might take away from it. I'm just wondering how that's going to turn out. You know, I haven't watched any trailers that included the Azrael Batman, but you know what? Once you get past the Azrael costume, I think everything's going to be completely translatable. But I have a feeling that Azrael costume isn't going to translate super well. But it's better than the alternatives, because all the other Azrael costumes are garbage, like terrible costumes.
No. I'm talking about the original Azrael costume, the red.
That's what I just said.
One.
Yeah, but there's more than one Azrael costume. Well, first off, there's an Azrael before Azrael. That's his father. He looks like a knight. Carries a broadsword, a longsword. But then there's another Azrael costume that they did during. The hell was the name of that book?
Sort of Azrael.
No. Wait, after that. More recent. During Batman Eternal, they had a whole different Azrael costumes that kind of incorporated the knight look a little bit, and then the Quesada-esque look at the same time. Wasn't a good one. So, but yeah, I think that I hope it turns out well. I'm skeptical that they're going to render it correctly, because I kind of feel like that's uniquely, like, I kind of feel like Quesada has this interesting, like, comic art and manga hybrid style, kind of like Humberto Ramos, where I think it'd be hard to translate that into something 3-dimensional, because there's such stylism to that art.
Yeah.
There's almost no photorealism to their art, in my opinion, other than the fact that their humans have 2 arms, 2 legs, and a head. So having some Korean animation house try to replicate that in a 3-dimensional model, I just don't think it's going to come off looking quite as cool.
Yeah, I feel you on
that. What else you got?
They are Teen Titans. The issue 38 came out this past Wednesday, where they're actually introducing Static from the Milestone universe. Is going to be joining the team, which is, it's been kind of a little up and down on that, because it's not working out. It's not as seamless as people think with that.
Well, I kind of predicted that when we talked about last time, because I kind of feel like, this isn't the Perez years. Teen Titans isn't like a cohesive team book where they give everybody a fair shake anymore. It's just an opportunity to tell Robin stories and then have other people with powers around him. So I don't really feel like they've done a great job utilizing that book to show off other characters. And then they And they kind of did the same thing they do in the movies, where they platform characters, I think, for the sake of agenda, not because the character was cool. Like, the hell's the character's name? Barricade?
I think so.
Yeah, he was in the Brett Booth run of, and he has the power to basically make psychological or psionic Lego bricks, and he can like build walls and make fists and stuff like that and punch through. Like, not a real interesting design on the character. You know, he has like a lavender outfit with a do-rag on his face and like makes purple bricks out of his mind. But that's all they really did with him, you know, other than they had him play second fiddle to all the other Titans characters. And I also think that the Titans didn't seem to have a good identity without Cyborg. It's like ever since they took Cyborg out of the Titans, he was kind of like the staple that made the rest of the team make sense. So I really think it was a bad move moving him over to the Justice League. I understand why they did it, but I don't know it was the greatest decision.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it kind of mixed reviews on that. But yeah, I think that's basically all I got for this week. Looking forward to some things coming up. They are re-releasing both Akira, Japanese animated movie from the late 80s.
I've seen
and Transformers, the 1986 movie. They are re-releasing both of those in September for their 40th anniversaries.
I probably saw Akira the first time when I was, I want to say 13, 14 years old.
Yeah,
I was very impressed.
Phenomenal movie. Yeah, that movie.
I have no idea what happens in it. Like mind-boggling what's happening in that movie. Like,
yeah,
like body horror that will make you uncomfortable.
Yeah, it was a good movie, though. It was a great movie. Can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I never saw the live action Ghost in the Shell movie they made with Scarlett Johansson. I wonder if that's as bad as everybody made it out to be. I got the impression that it did a really good job of making the animation the movie look like the animation, but they just didn't trust the story, so it went crazy.
Yeah, it looks.
But I gotta tell you, I'm not a big anime fan in general. The conceit of most animes is pretty far outside of my wheelhouse, because it's like a lot of times they don't follow like logical sense. It's just like they're making their movies by Mad Libs, and I don't know whether it's a cultural thing that I don't understand, or it's something that's being lost in the translation. But like if you look at things like Vampire Hunter D, which I don't know if you've ever seen it.
Oh yeah, one of my faves.
Vampire Hunter D, like if you look at it, it's a dude with like a talking mouth on his hand, but he's also a vampire. Yeah. But so it's like, what? Like if you told somebody that, they're like, what were you eating before you went to sleep and had this dream, dude? Like
yeah,
and that's a lot of we used to call it Japanimation back in the day, but that really upsets people now. There's a lot of anime or manga that's like that, where it's like really outlandish ideas, and it's just so normal in their genre culture, where you bring that over to regular comics. I mean, think like what we talked about a couple episodes with Spiderman. You know, it's like they bought the rights to Spider-Man from Marvel, but they're like, you know what this guy needs? A big robot. Like, what? He needs a spider car and a huge Gundam. Like, what? Like, why did you buy Spider-Man if you're going to make him so different? It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's crazy kind of stuff. But yep, man, yeah, we got some lot more stuff coming at you in the coming weeks. Gotta check out. We are going to be bringing you some more retro movie reviews.
I was going to say that. Yeah.
Thanks for your comments and your feedback. Please comment and like on this video as well. We love to hear some of the feedback that you guys have, some of the ideas that you have for us for upcoming shows. Please comment below and let us know.
Yeah, I mean, we'd love all to talk about. Honestly, it makes it worthwhile. I mean, when I check and I see that somebody's commented, I'll screenshot it. I'll send it over to T-Dubb. We'll chat about it. Pass around some Tyrone Biggins memes.
Yeah. Those are the fun ones.
But yeah, it was rough, man. We took that week off and peek behind the curtain. We were contemplating actually doing an episode while I was on travel, but my room had questionable Wi-Fi, so we had to make a decision. Do we put out a bad episode, or do we just hold it out and put out a good one when we get together? So we decided to not take a risk of putting out something that was crap just for the sake of saying we had an episode. We'll do better to notify you when there won't be an episode in the future. And guess so. We getting pretty close to wrapping up.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, let's throw it to Patreon real quick.
You can always check us out on Patreon, where we post each episode and updates so you always know what is going on with the show. If you like the show and you want to help us keep the lights on while you are there, you can become patron. For as low as $2 a month, you can become a league member, and that will give you access to exclusive pre-show and post-show content each week, as well as the retro movie reviews. Or for just a little bit more, at $5 a month, you can become a Power League member, getting free show, post-show, retro reviews, a discount code for our merch store, and a producer credit in each and every episode. That's patreon.com/secret identities. Put it in your search bar, look for it in the show notes, or find it with the rest of our links with our Linktree QR code.
Okay.
And we also want to give special thanks to our Patreon Power League members with an S. There's two now. We got two.
We got a new one. A new one.
He actually got in under the wire while I was editing last episode. So I had a little insert for him. But this is the second week. So we got Hazy Eyed Girl. She's our OG. But she's soon going to be dethroned by iRock Z Rupert. He's and yeah, it's just thanks for both of you. Thanks for supporting us. It means a lot, and we definitely like your feedback. They are two of the people that give us the most talk back through Patreon, and you know, there's that other guy that talks to us on YouTube. We like that too.
Yeah, hopefully he'll be a Patreon member. Fury.
No, it's I know I kind of broke the format by getting my tirades out early this episode. I just I didn't even get into the Avengers stuff this week. I'm just like,
yeah, well, it was cool.
I'm just I don't want to be negative all the time, but certain people are pushing me to be negative all the time. Because no, not you. It's just not you. It's just like they're making decisions that I just cannot endorse. Like,
but it's all fake. It's all fake. They want you to act like this.
It's not fake.
It is. It's all fake.
One of the things I did not talk about, and this happened since our last episode.
Oh, you talking about the girl power?
No. It's about. I'll put it up. We'll touch on it. So I know you haven't listened to some of you haven't listened to our spoiler review, and I don't want to say too much, but there's a big fan pushback about the Jean Grey character in the most recent Spider-Man movie, and how she did some things that some might consider irredeemable. Like, can't come back from this Jean Grey. You did a lot of non-heroic things. And it appears that she probably was responsible for a lot of deaths. And the Spider-Man writers have kind of come out and said, technically Jean Grey didn't kill anyone, or so we should believe. But if we learned anything by the Man of Steel movie, is if you don't say in the movie that everyone got out safely, everyone didn't get out safely. This was big. This is why when Age of Ultron came out, Marvel Disney did such a they put so much effort into illustrating the Avengers helping all the civilians escape. It was a direct response to the criticism that Man of Steel got that came out right before it. So to put out this movie where, I mean, straight, like, there's a character that literally gets hit by a cab because she walks him in front of it. But to be like, no, everybody got out fine. No one got hurt. It's like, it's gaslighting bullshit, you know. You have a responsibility to think of these things when you're writing a movie, especially when you're handling the legacy of a character. And that's why when Telly and I reviewed the movie, I kind of said, I think they Hank Pym'd this character with this movie. And for those of you that don't know what that means, is back in the day when Hank Pym, Ant-Man, was an Avenger, and his wife Janet Van Dyne was also an Avenger, there was a storyline where Hank was getting a little irascible. He was getting a little edgy. And Janet was trying to calm him down, and the writer wrote one thing, but the artist interpreted it as something else. So when the book actually got drawn, they have him essentially, it gives you the impression that he slapped his wife. So the character is now like he's nuclear. No, he's radioactive. Nobody messes with him because it kind of it ended up this downward slope of the character, because now he's considered a wife beater. But that was never actually the intention at all. But so. The reason you didn't get Hank Pym Ant-Man, you got Scott Lang Ant-Man instead, is because the Hank Pym character is kind of toxic in the source material, so of course they're going to stay away from his radioactive, you know. But I kind of feel like the Jean Grey for the MCU is officially Hank Pym'd, because if you watch that movie, she killed a lot of people. She killed a lot of people. I don't care what you say. She killed a lot of people. So like for the writers to come out and be like, well, not actually, you can't prove she killed anybody. Like, whatever, man. No. There's a guy. I ought to share his video. He watches superhero movies, and when a superhero like punches a guy or something like that, or throws him through a wall, he'll like stop the movie. He'll be like, "He dead. He just died." Have you seen this guy I'm talking about?
Yeah, I did. That's hilarious.
He'll just make a joke about how the movies are very flippant about these things that people do, but like, there's no way a dude survived that. Just like, you just shoved a human body through a concrete wall. That dude's dead.
One of the funniest memes or outtakes or deleted or blooper reels is the end of Rush Hour 2, when the guy falls out the window down to a car, and Chris Tucker peers out the window and goes, Oh, he ain't gonna be in Rush Hour 3. That has got to be in the history of movies one of the funniest ones I've ever seen.
It's
hilarious.
It's one of the ones from the first one. The first one's the one that really got me.
Yeah.
Yeah. When he's got the phone, he's like, "Who do you think you got? Chelsea Grammer? I mean, who do you think you got? Chelsea Clinton?
Who do you think you kidnapped? Chelsea Clinton?"
He says it wrong. He says it wrong the first time. He says Chelsea Grammer.
Yeah, he said, hey, $50 million. Who do you think you kidnapped? Chelsea Grammer? I mean, Chelsea Clinton? He gets it right. So, and the fact that he was pretty much best friends with Bill Clinton and he can't pronounce his daughter's name is the funny thing. But Chris Tucker is hilarious. Vic Damone's son. From
Vic Damone. Vic Damone's son.
Vic Damone's son. Yeah, that's Vic Damone's son. Vic Damone? He said, "Oh yeah, I know Vic Damone. He got that from a commercial when he was shaving in the back." Yeah. Not a commercial, a movie he was watching.
Yeah, but
goes, I bet you ain't never got to worry about nothing. Yeah, he improvised on so many of his lines. His movies were hilarious.
Yeah. But when I was driving up to DC, I actually listened to episodes of the podcast. I was trying to figure out some stuff to pull out for clips on some of our other platforms, our social media platforms, and like listening to us from episode 1 up through like episode 9, I was getting even more mad at Marvel because it occurred to me like. The whole Marvel way is everybody's movie is their first movie kind of BS. Like, so you're supposed to make everything accessible to everyone.
Yeah.
That flies in the face of this Avengers encore.
Oh, yeah.
You're supposed to make your movie accessible, not make somebody pay more money to understand your new movie that's coming out. So it's just like it's just the decisions they're making are purely financial based, or purely trying to patch up the hole in the boat that they did, and then like everything they say is so disingenuous. You know, it's like Feige says, "Oh well, we made a mistake putting too much importance on television," but they just announced 2 more television shows. They're talking about adding Jocasta to the MCU in the Vision Quest show. You know, there's all of this stuff. Like, they keep saying they're not going to do something, but it's obvious that they're just lying to you because they think that's what you want to hear, but then they give you the same thing they were giving you all along. Yeah. So it's just like I thought the MCU was a good. I thought the MCU was a good thing. I really did. I thought it was awesome. And then I kind of feel like after, say, Age of Ultron, things started going bad. So, like, maybe Joss Whedon was the ice cream and the ice cream sandwich man. But, like, I mean, you got to figure that after Age of Ultron, you had Doctor Strange, which wasn't a bad film, but it felt like a step back. It felt like if this came out when Iron Man 1 came out, this would be amazing, right? But like it didn't feel like it had the same dynamic as the other movies. And then it's just gotten progressively more messed up once they kind of decided, oh, everything's going to be totally interconnected. And they've got these weird Easter egg things in movies that they don't get resolved. They don't get satisfied at all. You know, Doctor Strange is going to be in something, but nobody's explained purple-haired Charlize Theron at the end of Multiverse of Madness, right? You know,
yeah.
So, like, I hate this. We have a plan. Trust us. We get no reason to trust that they have a plan. We have no reason to trust they want anything more than our money at this point. So, and that's a sad place to be because, you know, Marvel had the most cohesive brand. I'm not saying I loved everything they made, but I feel like going into phase 2, they were creating movies that felt like they had a different texture, but they felt like they plugged into the same world. I think they just got so they got so bogged down in shoving advertisements for their next movie into other movies that they stopped feeling different from each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just start getting old pretty quick.
It sucks because with them having the lead like they do, it's just going to telegraph to other studios that, oh, okay, the superhero thing has run its course. So I feel like they have a greater responsibility than that of their shareholders. And that all they think is, oh, we're going to make our shareholders money and we're going to pull the plug when it doesn't make money. But they're going to tank an entire industry, man. I think we're going to be back to using code words to admit that we're comic fans in public because
you got that right.
We had some lean years, Telly, and then we were on top. We were on top for a while. People coming to you and going, so that superhero thing, is that what it's like in the comic book? You know, it's like you were the life of the party for a couple of decades, right?
I know.
Yeah, so I just kind of feel like Marvel's messing it up for everybody. It's a big party foul they're doing because I kind of feel like everybody's going to pull the plug on everything. They're going to say, well, if Marvel was the big kid on the block and it didn't work from them, why would it work for us? But they're just not doing it right anymore. It's not that superheroes are failing. It's just they're sucking at it.
Yeah.
But
it got to be better.
We've had this conversation before, so we ought to just wrap it up.
Yeah, we'll get it.
Yeah, we're planning on doing more retro review stuff. That, of course, is going straight over to Patreon for League members and Power League members now. I think that we will probably maybe eventually start trickling them out to the main feed. But we're talking a long time before they'll start trickling out the main feed now. So...
yeah, can't wait.
It's fun being back.
We got to get together. Yeah, it's great being back. Please leave notes in the comments, and we'll get back to you. And we appreciate all your feedback.
Absolutely. And we do have a Discord set up, so if anyone is interested in, we're not messing with it as a platform right now because there's just no point to be over there without anybody there. But if that's something that somebody's interested in, I believe that it's included in our links for the link tree, and then I check it all the time. But obviously, it's a ghost town in there. So, but if you go, we'll go.
Definitely. Will you guys lead us, and please follow us where we go.
All right, brother. I think we've done it for tonight. And
yep.
All right. And see you guys.
Thanks again for joining us. If you like what you saw, give us a like. If you didn't, let us know how we can do better. If you know someone else who might like us, please share. Help us boost the signal. For audio only, they can find us on Spotify by searching for Secret Identities Podcast. Or for full video, tell them they can find us on YouTube at Secret Identities -Pod. And of course, every episode is free to listen on Patreon at www.patreon.com/secretidentities. We also share clips of the show occasionally on Instagram at secret_identities_media or on TikTok at secret_identities_pod. Be sure to check out those socials. Drop us a like, give us a follow, turn on notifications. That way you will always be updated so you never miss an episode. You can look out for our streaming schedule. or just see some of the news and funnies that we share throughout the week. And don't forget to please follow us or subscribe wherever you are listening from.